Man, can we all agree that it's just been a lot lately? And I mean a lot. Like whether you're talking about the news, current affairs, existential dread, the day job, work, we're all bombarded all the time. And what's an aspiring author to do? How are you supposed to write when you're constantly bombarded with stuff and you feel stressed out? Let's talk about it today on the Ronin Author. All right, welcome to the Ronin Author. I'm your host, Ryan McGinnis. I am the owner of S&D Designs, the owner of 217 Press, and a self-published author on Amazon. So it's a holiday weekend here in the United States, and I meant to do this video outside, hence the title of it. But it's super windy today, like super windy. So I didn't think it would be productive to shoot. I figured the camera would blow over. I figured the mic would be full of wind. So here we are doing it inside instead. We're doing it in my kitchen, for a change instead of my office. I just wanted to do something different, So lately, everything's been really wild and really busy. And with this holiday weekend, I'm trying to get in a 4-day weekend to actually rest and chill out, because it just seems like it has been nonstop. The barrage of news, the existential dread, everything going on, worldwide lately. And on top of all that, my day job has been super busy, which I'm very thankful for. Don't let me, it's a good problem to have, but I've been very busy, and there's just been nonstop, and it feels like every time I turn around, I'm just getting hammered from every direction. And so I have been really behind on writing because I was working on a work in progress, and with all this stuff, with the election, with all just the inauguration, all the just blows up. I haven't really been able to concentrate on it. And so I've been working really hard lately to get back into that mindset, and doing research and studying and because that's just what I do. And what I found is that all that stress overloads your brain. You end up being super stressed out, and when you're bombarded with thing after thing after thing after thing, whether it's work, whether it's the news, whether it's us, scrolling our phones, which we're all bad about doing, all of that just overloads your brain and makes it extremely hard to be creative and to write or paint or whatever you do. I mean, heck, you could build Legos. There's nothing wrong with that. We love Legos. But all of that stresses your brain out. All of that is just, your brain gets so clogged up because, yes, we have all the information in the world at our fingertips, but the human brain really was not designed and has not evolved to absorb all that information. So when you're getting information from 50 different directions and all this stuff and all this stress, and your stress levels are getting high and the cortisol's building up, your creative brain turns to mush, But it turns out we can fix that. And you can get your brain rewired and back in gear, but it's going to require you to do something crazy, and that's do nothing. Like, it turns out, I read some scientific research that said that your brain needs to be bored. That's when your creativity comes into play. That's when your brain gets time to kind of go, oh, let me figure stuff out. I mean, it's like being in, so back up. When I lived in Wichita, I think it was either 2016 or 2017, somewhere in that range, there was a sensory deprivation chamber in the city. For those of you who don't know what that is, it is a large chamber that is filled with body temperature water, and you get in it, and the water is the salt content of the water is really high. The salinity is very high, and you get into the sensory deprivation chamber, and since the water is super salty, it allows you to float. And so you just lay back and you float, and then they turn off all the lights, and it's soundproof, and so there's no sound, there is no light, there's no sight or anything, there's nothing, and you're just floating in nothingness. And it's pretty amazing, if I'm being honest. It's pretty amazing. But the reason I brought that up is because when you're sitting there in the blackness and your brain has no stimuli, it has no touch, it has no sound, it has no visual stimulation, your brain will start making stuff up. You will tend to hallucinate in a sensory deprivation chamber. Like, I started seeing things that weren't there. I was in my own little world in there, and so it was pretty cool. And it's kind of the same way that you need to spend time doing nothing, so that your brain kind of recharges and kind of recalibrates. It's very, very important. It's very important for it to function properly, especially if you're a creative. So, basically you need to be bored. So it's important to find a way to put your phone down, put your computer down, and get away from everything for a little while. You don't need those emails from the office or from clients. You don't need the text messages from your friends. You don't need all the latest videos. You just need nothing. You need to just kind of chill out and just get out there and sigh and breathe oxygen and just chill. And so, one of the best ways to do that is to get outside or touch grass, as the kids would say. But like I said, I was going to shoot this video outside, but it would have just been like shooting in a wind tunnel because it's super windy today. I could show you the lilies by the window are just, they're just flying all over the place. So wouldn't have been a good day to shoot outside. Earlier this week I could have done it, but I didn't have time because I was busy. So, but keep in mind, when I say touch grass, when I say get outside, I mean, keep in mind, it'll look different for everyone. Everybody's got their own thing. Everybody's got what they're into. Some of you, I'm sure, will go out and play golf, and that's fine. I can't do the playing golf thing, but I do get it. I do like bowling. That's it's not very quiet, but it's still same thing if you can get your zen there. I mean, for me, chilling in the backyard, tending my garden, going to the beach, going to a park, and just sitting in nature, immersing myself in nature. That has always worked for me because I haven't always been an author, but I've always been a web designer. I've always been somebody who spends all day on computer screens and in front of computer screens and typing on keyboards. And so for me, the way to counteract that has always been, when I'm not on the computer, to go outside and to spend time in the garden, to spend time digging in the dirt, or go to the beach or go to a park and explore and just walk and just allow myself to just experience stuff, And so that's the way I do it, But I mean, it can be as simple as just taking a walk with your dog. Just take your dog, go for a walk, and just zone out. Don't look at your phone the whole time. Don't have a podcast in your ear buzzing, just walk and just be one with nature. Like, look around, notice there's birds, there's plants, there's stuff, The point is that as an author, your brain, like you might argue that your keyboard or your computer or Scrivener or Microsoft Word or Pro Writing Aid or whatever is your most important tool, but you're wrong. The most important tool you have as an author is your brain. That is absolutely the most important thing you have. And so the most important thing you can do as an author is to take care of yourself, take care of your mental health, and take care of your brain. So that's the episode for this week on The Ronin Author. I want you guys to take care of yourself, take some time to relax, to take it easy, get your brain back in gear. If you enjoyed this episode, please give it a like or a subscribe or even share it with your friends. And we'll continue this journey together next week on The Ronin Author. Have a great week.